everyone, welcome to Botany Insider, and in this lecture we would be focusing mainly upon the topic of biosensors. It is one of the frequently repeated topic from unit 12, so it is one of the most important topic to focus upon. So first of all, let us discuss about that what are biosensors. So in order to understand that what it is, let us just break the term in order to derive its meaning. So biosensors is actually made up of two terms. The first one is bio and the second term is the sensors. So bio in simple word means biology. And in biology, we could mainly refer it to as the enzymes being used. And talking about the sensors, so in sensors, it actually means to sense something. And in this sensing method, what we are doing is, we are doing the physical treatment of the compound or of the organic molecule that we are focusing upon. So let's try to understand a bit more about the biosensors. So biosensors are the devices that are used to detect the presence or the concentration of a biological analyte such as a biomolecule, a biological structure or a microorganisms. So in simple words, what we can say is that a biosensor is a type of a device that is used to sense, that is used to detect the presence of the concentration of any particular biological analyte. And what is a biological analyte? So any structure or any molecule or any microorganism which is related to the biological behavior. If we are trying to detect some biological analyte with the help of these devices, so such devices are given the name of biosensors. So we can say a biosensor is an analytical device that is used for the detection of a chemical substance that combines a biological component with a physiochemical detector. Let's move forward. So biosensors are the devices which combines a biological component to detect an analyte and a physiological component in order to produce a signal. So we are using the devices, we are using these biosensors in order to detect an analyte that is a biological in nature, and these analytes are combined with the physiochemical component, and both of them in a combination produces a signal, and these signals are the end results or they are the end products that are measurable, and they are measured by the help of these devices. They mainly consist of three common parts. The first part is the component that recognizes the analyte, that recognizes the biological analyte and which produces the signal. Second one is the signal transducer, and the third one is a reader device. If in simple way, if we want to understand that how a biosensor is actually made up of, so let's represent it by the help of these rectangular boxes. So we have three main components. The first one is the component that produces the signal, and the signal is produced by the help of the biological analyte. And we have just discussed the various types of biological analytes that could be present, and when the signal is produced, it needs to be transduced, it needs to be modified in order to be read by the help of these biosensors. So the second component is the signal transducer, and when the signal is transduced by the help of these transducer, what happens is we have the third component as the reader. So this reader would actually read the signal that is produced by the help of the analyte, and the reader must be having some standard norms set which it requires or which are actually used in order to compare the analyte that we have taken and the final result that we have got, in order to have our final result that whether the following analyte have the result or have the final biological component that we are searching for. Let's move forward. So we can say that the biosensors have the biological component and the physical component. Talking about the biological component, there are two subcomponents of it. The first one is the sensing element, and also we have the analyte. Talking about the physical component, that is the signal transducer that we are using, and also the reader component that is used to read the final readings. So we have the transducers, we have the AD converters, the third one is the amplifier, and the fourth one is the display. So the function of the transducer is to transduce or is to transfer the signals from the analyte to the reader device. Then we have the AD converters, that is these converters are used to convert the signals in the readable form. The third one is the amplifier, that is what these subcomponents do is these subcomponents are actually helping to amplify the signal if in some case the signal that is actually or the signal that is initially produced by the analyte is not in an appropriate form or it is not in an appropriate frequency that could be read by the reader. And the last one is the display, in which we have our final reading of the complete experiment produced so that we could easily read it in the readable form. So these are the components of the biosensors. So now let's talk about the characteristics of the biosensors. Make sure you remember about these characteristics. Why? Questions have been directly framed from these characteristics, and we'll be solving one questions from the same at the end of this video. The four components are, the first one is linearity, the second one is sensitivity, the third one is the selectivity, and the fourth one is the response time. The first one is linearity. So the linearity of a biosensor that we are using should be high, and the detection of the high substrate concentration should be there. Talking about the sensitivity, so the sensitivity of a biosensor should also be high, that is it could easily sense even if a low concentration biological analyte is present in the substance that we have used. Talking about the selectivity, so it should be selective for a particular substrate, that is if we are using some biological analyte, for example if we are using some chemical compound that we are focusing in order to detect some particular biological analyte from the same, so that particular biosensor should be very selective for that. For example, if we are using blood as our sample, so in blood if we are focusing that we need to check the concentration of the glucose in it, so the biosensor device should be very specific for that glucose molecule. It should be very specific to detect the glucose presence or absence. The fourth one is the response time. So it should have a very quick response, that is it should not take very long time in order to detect that whether a particular substrate is present or not. It should have sensitivity, selectivity, and high response time. The first one was the linearity. So one important point to remember in linearity is that whenever we plot the graph for linearity in biosensors, it is always a straight line graph which is equidistant from both of the axes. Make sure you remember about this graph. All you need to remember is that the biosensors have a linear graph in any of the condition that we plot a graph. Why I am focusing upon this? Because you will be able to understand the importance of this graph by the end of this video. Let's move forward and understand about the features of the biosensors. The first one is it is highly sensor. Second one, it can be reused. It provides a linear response. It is easy to use. It requires very small sample volume. Even if we take very small sample of the volume, what happens is we could easily find out that whether a particular chemical is present or not in that particular sample. We need not to take a very large amount of the sample. This feature is that it is rapid, accurate, stable, and sterilizable. The last one is that it have a very quick response. Make sure you remember about these features as well. So let's talk about the types of the biological signals or the biosignals. That is, when we are using any particular type of a chemical or when we are using any particular type of a sample. So from that sample, we could have various types of signals produced. So depending upon the types of the signals produced, we have various types of biosensors being used for those particular type of the samples. We have mainly the biosignal as the heat, mass change, then we have light, ions and the electrons. So if heat is used or heat is produced as a biosignal, we would be using a calorimetric biosensor. The second one is for the mass change, we would be using a piezoelectric biosensors. The third one is the light, so in that case we would be using a optical biosensors. Fourth one is the ion potential, so in that case we would be using a potentiometric biosensors. And the last one is the electron, that is about the current, so we could either use the conductimeter sensor or a ampermetric sensor or a ampermetric biosensors. These are the types of the biosensors depending upon the biosignals that are produced as a final result. So let's talk about the applications of biosensors. So these biosensors are used in a wide variety of industries and they have very wide variety of applications. For example, they are used in common healthcare checking, in metabolites measurement. Then we have the screening for the sickness. It is also used for insulin treatment, clinical physiotherapy, in military, agriculture and veterinary applications. It is also used in drug improvement and detection. Then we have, they are also used in the ecological pollution control. After that, they are also used in diagnostic and clinical, in the industrial and the environmental application. They are also used in development of the drug, detection of crime, medical diagnosis, in monitoring of the environmental field. Then we have, they are also used in the quality control, in the process control in the industries, and they are also used in the pharmaceutical manufacture and the organ replacement. So you can see they have very large range of applications in the nature. So make sure you remember about these applications because questions can be framed from these areas as well. We are done with the complete topic of biosensors. Let's quickly try to solve out this particular question. It is a 4-marker from part C. So the question says that the performance of biosensors is evaluated by their response to the presence of an analyte. The physiological relevant concentration of the analyte is between 10 and 50. Which among the following biosensor response is the best? So this question is asking about that we have a analyte which have a concentration between 10 to 50, and out of the 4 graphs that are given, which of the graph represents the best biosensor response? So here comes the final application of our characteristics that we have discussed. So as we have discussed that the biosensor should be linear in nature, that is if we are using some kind of samples, be it in any concentration, it should provide a linear response. That would be the best biosensor possible. So if we analyze all the 4 graphs that are given, first and fourth can never be the answer because they does not represent the best biosensors. So A and D gets eliminated on the first go. Talking about option B, it is linear but it is not as linear as in case of option C. You need to carefully analyze the nature of the graph given. Option C represents a accurate linear graph. So more the linear graph is, the better response a biosensor must have shown. So we have our final and the correct answer as option C. So you can see what we did was we just analyzed the graph, we just remembered one important characteristic of the biosensors, that is it should be linear in nature, or the final result of the biosensor must have a linearity in its nature. And we applied the same information in this question and we reached to the final answer for this particular question in less than a minute. So you can see biosensor is one of the most scoring topic if a question is asked from that particular topic. So we have the final answer as option C, and with this we're done with the complete topic of biosensors, and also we have discussed one previous year question as well. So I hope this video was helpful for you. So if you like this video, please do like, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. And also I'll be coming up very soon with more important lectures on Unit 12 and other topics as well. So thank you so much for watching, and till then keep learning.